what we do at Betaworks is we build things and we make investments. Everything that we do is around the theme of the social real-time web. And so what makes an investment for us is not dissimilar to what makes something which we build. We see a need. We see sometimes in the data that we have at Betaworks, we see a need for a specific application, a specific thing in the social real-time web, and we want to go out there and fill it. And so we see a company filling it, or we see a white space we need to build and fill it.
We will invest a small amount, we'll invest a larger amount. We're relatively agnostic. It depends on the amount that the company is raising. That being said, as John said, because we are sector or theme focused, that's the first litmus test for us. If something fits within our view of the world and our view of real-time social, we want to participate in that, and we're seed investors, so we're always the first money in. We have two activities where we invest and we build. I think we have a particular, I don't know if you'd say it's expertise, but a real focus on the early stages of product development and how products get to market and how they're developed and how they gain traction. And so those two activities reinforce each other, and I think that makes it a little different. I don't know a lot of other investors who have also built 3 companies and who are building 3 more and have built 4 or 5 over the past 4 years that actually didn't make it, that never made it outside our 4 walls. So we have a lot of experience in there. That being said, as an investor, we are completely singularly sector focused. And so we don't really do enterprise software, or we like to say if the next email client comes along that's not something that fits within our sector focus. We have a real domain focus. Everything here is interconnected.
On mobile and mobile devices, these devices they're social computing devices. They're personal devices, and yet they're also social devices. Your iPad that you're recording this on, the iPad has this really peculiar property, which is that people are very comfortable sharing them, right? If I say to you, can I borrow your BlackBerry? You look at me like, are you crazy? You don't borrow BlackBerries, right? But with the iPad, can I use your iPad for a minute? That's an acceptable social question. And at the same time, you have people who will tweet out at night, I'm about to curl up in bed with my iPad, right? So this computing device has both a very social and personal aspect to it. And then you think about the accelerometer, you think about the fact that it's gesture-based computing, you think about how tied it is into the actual human experience of touching, feeling, moving, all of these things. These are all social. So it's not only that these devices are proliferating, it's not only that there's more endpoints on the mobile network than there are on the fixed line network. It's not only that it is that all this represents a change in UI and form factor. It's that these devices are fundamentally social.
When we started out, as John said, we had a thesis about media. We had a thesis about social applications. We had a thesis about how the distribution of real-time information changes things. We spent a lot more time 4 years ago talking about what that means than we do now. It feels like the real-time social stack, if you will, is entering a period of, if not maturity, of middle age, where the applications and services are actually just starting to get better and starting to get more interesting. A lot of the rough edges that surround the early entrance in any market seem to be smoothed out. So, for example, mobile applications and the proliferation of mobile devices, including the device that you're filming this on, didn't exist 4 years ago. None of those existed. And so look at those now, right? For example, the maturity, if you will, of platforms like Twitter or Facebook were much different 4 years ago. And platforms in which you can build applications and build businesses on top of were much different 4 years ago. So all that stuff has just grown, and we think presents more, or at least different opportunities for stuff for us to build and stuff to invest.
The name is Betaworks because there's a sort of an allusion there to a factory or betas being built here, but there's also the other meaning of it, which we think is a beta's work, right? And the reason is this, is that a PowerPoint is an abstraction of an idea, right? If you say to me, I got this really interesting idea, I'd really like to try this out, right? You then sit down to create a PowerPoint deck around it, right? You start off the deck with, the market could get big, this is interesting, I think this, all that crap. I think, is obfuscates the workflow and the actual experience of building the product. And what we're interested in is we're interested in products. And so if you come in here with a PowerPoint, with no interest in PowerPoints, I'm more interested in napkins than PowerPoints, because at least they're raw in terms of the experience. It's a more authentic representation of an idea. But what we really want to see is betas. We want to see public beta or private beta. We want to see an actual product so we can kick the tires and get a feel for it. Because if I come and say to you, I got this really nifty thing that I think is going to change the world and is going to let people publish 140 characters, you have no idea what that thing is and how to distinguish that from SMS or from email or from IM. It's really the implementation and the workflow that exposes the product.